A Grave to Visit, a novel by Lilian Surkova. Chapter 1. The sun was slowly rising. It was red at the beginning, but as it was getting more visible, the colors were changing. Orange, copper, gold. The sunrise had a magic power to it. It seemed the sea was giving birth to the sun. And finally, with the last push, the sun was above the horizon. The huge cannon spit it out, and the new day had officially begun. The Mediterranean Sea was calm and very blue. Another beautiful day in paradise. She was gorgeous, Paradise cruise liner, white, sparkling clean, almost silently sailing towards the new day. The passengers were still sleeping. After a long night of the entertainment, they were tired. Only the tireless crew was performing the usual routine duties. There is nothing better than a Sunday morning, but for the cruise life, every morning is Sunday morning. That's why when people were questioned about the events, very few were able to actually say what day of the week that was. The upper deck was clean. Light wind was moving the canvas that were covering the lifeboats, but the ropes held the fabric secure in place, in all but one boat. That seemed out of the ordinary, and the chief housekeeper, making his morning check-up rounds, frowned, almost envisioning how he was going to point this out to the responsible person. He approached the lifeboat, reached for the corner of the canvas, and there it was. A leg. A woman's leg wearing this season's Fendi shoe. He knew it was Fendi. His girlfriend was obsessed with this particular shoe, and he was going to the Fendi boutique in Rome once the ship docked in Italy. He was afraid to look further. He was afraid of what he would see. He reached for his walkie-talkie and paged the ship's security. Where are we right now exactly, and how long till the shore? The head of the ship's security asked the captain. An hour ago they recovered the body that turned out to be a beautiful woman in her late 20s. They were not able to establish her identity. Nobody reported a missing person, and they had checked all single occupancy cabins. All passengers were accounted for. Who this woman was and how she got where they discovered her seemed like a mystery. The ship doctor said the death had occurred no less than 6 hours ago. No visible signs of struggle, no injuries that might have caused her death. Mystery, that is the word that would be heard a lot that day among the ones who knew about the finding, and especially among those who heard rumors. We are 40 hours away from the Italian shore. That means that we are on our own, and only in the port can get the assistance of the police if we want it. I think everybody understands. It's better if we solve this puzzle before we dock. Right now, gentlemen, while we have the murder on board, we have the upper hand. When everybody disembarks, the case will go cold. The captain looked tired and concerned. He was a seasoned professional and treasured the good name and the reputation of Paradise Cruise Lines. In his 23 years of an impeccable career, this case definitely was out of the ordinary. He understood that it would be impossible to escape publicity, especially with that nosy reporter who was vacationing on board at this very moment. I know what it means, Captain. Please keep the public informed to a reasonable extent. Get together with our PR office and issue a memo. I bet by lunchtime the rumors will be flying all over, and with everybody having smartphones and emails, this will appear on CNN in no time. We need to give people an official version of the event, and please don't look at me as if I'm overriding your authority. I know you're in charge. This lady is all yours, but under the circumstances, I think I am more prepared to deal with the facts. Two men looked each other in the eye for a brief moment. Yes, Paul, I think you are better equipped to deal with the situation. I'll assist you in any way I can. Chapter 2. Murder in Paradise. The headlines didn't pretend to be original. Besides, it was the truth. The name of the ship was Paradise, and the reporters didn't have to reinvent the wheel. All news sites and major TV news broadcasts broke the story way before the lunchtime, as Paul Griffiths, the head of the Paradise Security, had predicted. The official memo issued by Paradise Cruise Lines very briefly informed the public about the accident. No details, only the fact of gruesome discovery. Sure, there was a room for imagination. Kate Mitchell was watching, or better listening to the news on her TV, as she was packing the suitcase to fly to Italy in an hour. The Paradise Cruise Lines enlisted help of U.S. Air Force, and first they would fly to Aviano, United States Air Force Base near Venice, where they would change the aircraft and fly a helicopter that would deliver them on the ship. She preferred not to think about the helicopter ride yet. Deal with the problems as they arise, she ordered herself. The board of directors meeting at the company's headquarters in New York was called on at midnight and formed a task force to conduct its private investigation. The company had a team of security professionals, and Kate was in charge of it. It was her second month on the job, but she wasn't a novice in the murder investigations. She had almost 20 years under her belt in the NYPD Special Victims Unit, where she became a legend among her colleagues for her sharp mind, for being able to analyze the case and to point to the right suspect. She had a reputation of workaholic, but the respect she earned in the professional circles was undeniable. When the time came to retire, she had a number of appealing job offers. She thought that once in her life she could afford to be irresponsible. She made a card for each offer and laid them on the table, all 7 of them. It is nice to be in such demand. Then closed her eyes, shuffled the cards, and picked one. Opened her eyes and read, Paradise Cruise Lines. Well, that must be my fate, she thought. I have never vacationed on the cruise ship, but always wanted to. Maybe working for this company I will finally get a chance to fulfill my dream. Sure, the dreams come true. She knew the job wouldn't be easy. Their ships were traveling all around the world, and with the current terrorism threat, she will have her hands full. But a murder seemed like her old job now. Well, at least I know how to do it, she thought. Beware what you wish for, it may come true. Tall, slender, and quick in her movements, she looked amazing in her early 40s. Her thick brown hair always followed her in a beautiful flying motion. In fact, when she walked, few people could resist not looking at her. Stylish, tastefully made up, she seemed to be out of place in her old job. Actually, her looks often confused the suspects as well, and she was able to pull very valuable information out of them. She locked her apartment and called the elevator. Good that I don't have a cat, she thought again. She missed having a pet, but had convinced herself that with her job and her lifestyle she wouldn't be able to provide an adequate care for an animal. The company car was already waiting for her down by the door. If everything goes well, she should be on board of Paradise by 1500, as the military man informed her, local time. It will leave them roughly 32 hours to solve the case. Time is of the essence. The company's plane was a comfortable Gulfstream and had all accommodations for productive work. She had the reports of the murder, the little information that was available at this time. With her in the plane there was a team of forensic experts with all their bells and whistles. She knew the first valuable hours after the murder were lost, but with the miracles of a contemporary science, even more complicated cases were solved. She had no doubt they would establish the case of death in spite of absence of the visible signs. As for the motives, that would be the most difficult part. First of all, who is the girl? How did she get on board unnoticed? What does it say about the boat's security? How in the world was that possible? She opened the file folder with the mark. Paul Griffiths, security officer of the Paradise. Personnel file. Confidential.